The Catalan Giants prepare to begin preseason camp on July 13th under new manager Hansi Flick. One issue is causing more headaches than excitement: the center-back situation. What seemed like a routine summer clear-out has now morphed into one of the most tangled plot lines in Barcelona's transfer saga. 5 central defenders remain on the books. Only 4 are expected to stay. But all 5, Ronald Araujo, Andreas Christensen, Eric Garcia, Pau Cubarsí, and Inigo Martínez, have made it clear they have no plans of leaving. For Deco, the club's sporting director, that spells trouble. As reported by Diario AS, the squad's defensive structure has become an unexpected hurdle. With Flick keen to work with a streamlined unit and Deco under pressure to raise funds and balance the wage bill, the club finds itself at an impasse. Each defender brings something unique to the table. Each has a reason to stay. And yet, one must go. This is the inside story of how loyalty, ambition, and timing are combining to create one of the trickiest puzzles of Deco's tenure, and why no solution comes without a cost. Ronald Araujo was supposed to be the first domino to fall. Back in January, his departure looked like a near certainty. Juventus were interested, the player was frustrated with his role under Xavi, and talks between the clubs had begun. Araujo, never one to hide his emotions, had expressed his dissatisfaction privately and publicly. Injuries had disrupted his rhythm, and he was concerned about being pushed out of the leadership circle. However, as often happens at Barcelona, fate intervened. An untimely injury to Inigo Martínez forced Araujo back into the spotlight, and the Uruguayan responded with a level of commitment that impressed the dressing room. Key teammates rallied around him. Hansi Flick, even before officially taking charge, was briefed on Araujo's character and potential leadership qualities. By March, the conversation had shifted, not about selling Araujo, but about how to keep him. Deco, anticipating renewed interest in the summer, added a clause to Araujo's contract, a €60 million release trigger, valid only for the first 2 weeks of July. It was a calculated move, enough time to allow other clubs to bid, but short enough to avoid drawn-out sagas. If Araujo wanted to leave, the window was open. But on Wednesday, July 10th, that window effectively closed. Araujo reported early to preseason training at Ciutat Esportiva, cutting short his vacation. His message was clear: he's staying. For Deco, that's both a blessing and a burden. Araujo's commitment and leadership are unquestionable, but his continued presence clogs the depth chart and removes the most likely high-value exit. The release clause strategy didn't pan out. And now, with Ter Stegen's future uncertain, Araujo is even eyeing the captain's armband. He's no longer a fringe player. He's ready to be the face of the defense. If Araujo's U-turn was unexpected, Andreas Christensen's situation is quietly just as disruptive. After a solid first season, the Danish centre-back struggled with recurring Achilles tendon issues throughout the 2024-25 campaign. His role diminished, and whispers emerged about a possible sale, especially with just a year left on his deal. But much like Araujo, Christensen has returned early to training, determined to prove a point. He's not just showing up, he's making it known to everyone, from Deco to Flick, that he's staying. Christensen's stance puts Deco in a bind. On paper, the Dane is a logical sale. Solid pedigree, high resale value, and entering the final year of his contract. The club could cash in now and avoid a Bosman departure next summer. But Christensen's early return, positive attitude, and popularity in the dressing room complicate that narrative. More importantly, Flick values his composure and experience. While not as vocal as Araujo, Christensen provides calm, positional awareness, and a clean build-up game, traits Flick traditionally appreciates. Selling him now would create a leadership vacuum, especially if Araujo or Ter Stegen falter in their attempts to lead the defense. And yet, the clock is ticking. If Barcelona want to extract value from Christensen, the time is now. Wait too long and he could walk for free, a scenario the club cannot afford. Then there's Eric Garcia, once written off, now reborn. In January, few fans would have batted an eye if Garcia was sold or loaned out. But Flick had other ideas. The German coach, who prizes tactical intelligence and adaptability, saw something in Garcia that others missed. He personally requested the club to keep the Spanish defender through the winter. Garcia became a utility man in the second half of the season, covering multiple roles with surprising effectiveness. At right back, he offered steady overlap and ball retention. As a defensive midfielder, he shielded the backline during injury crises. And when injuries hit the heart of defense, Garcia stepped up with standout performances, scoring against Benfica, AC Milan, and even delivering a crucial goal in a 4-3 El Clasico win over Real Madrid. Now, Garcia is no longer just a squad player. He's a contract renewal priority. The club wants to extend his deal and reward his growth. Selling him now simply to meet numbers would not only be unfair, it would risk undoing months of positive development. Yet that's exactly the position Deco is in. With 5 center-backs and room for only 4, someone has to go. But how do you justify selling a 24-year-old who's earned his place, just because 2 older defenders refuse to leave? This isn't just a numbers game. It's a test of values, development strategy, and long-term vision. If Flick has made one thing clear, it's this: Pau Cubarsí and Inigo Martínez are not leaving. Cubarsí, the breakout star of last season, is viewed as a cornerstone of the club's future. At just 17 years old, he showed composure, vision, and leadership far beyond his years. Flick wants to build around him, not just include him. He's not going anywhere. Inigo Martínez, meanwhile, brings left-footed balance to the backline and veteran presence to the locker room. Though he struggled with injuries last season, his aerial dominance and experience are valued by the coaching staff. Flick sees him as a starter, not a sale, so that narrows the options. Cubarsí and Inigo are untouchable. Araujo is staying. Christensen refuses to leave. Garcia is thriving. Where does that leave Deco? Sporting directors are judged on their ability to shape squads that are both balanced and competitive. For Deco, this summer was supposed to be a chance to show that he could trim the fat and invest wisely. Araujo's clause was supposed to generate cash. Christensen was expected to attract bids. Garcia was expendable. But reality has proven stubborn. No one wants to leave. Everyone's performing. And now Deco must choose between forcing out a willing player or keeping all 5 and dealing with the financial and logistical consequences. There's also the matter of wages. Barcelona's financial situation is still delicate. Keeping 5 center-backs, several of them on significant salaries, limits the club's ability to pursue other targets. Hansi Flick reportedly wants a new left winger and backup striker. Those moves require funds and roster space. In other words, this isn't just about defense. It's about the entire squad structure. And unless Deco finds a creative solution, a loan with a buy option, a surprise bid from Saudi Arabia, or a sudden player change of heart, the bottleneck will. If any defender is likely to budge, it's Christensen. A bid from the Premier League or Serie A could tempt Deco to act, especially if it arrives before preseason fully kicks off. It wouldn't be a popular move in the locker room, but it might be the most pragmatic. Though unlikely, the idea of loaning out Garcia, possibly with a renewal beforehand, could satisfy both development goals and squad balance. It's far from ideal, especially given Flick's faith in him, but stranger things have happened at Barcelona. If another club comes in with a late mega offer and Araujo has second thoughts, that could resolve everything. But this scenario grows less likely by the day. His early return suggests he's made peace with staying. Barcelona might choose to keep all 5 through the start of the season, then reassess in January. It would mean carrying 1 extra defender and the associated costs, but could provide short-term cover and long-term flexibility. With preseason looming, the pressure is on. Flick needs clarity. Deco needs movement. And the players, all eager, loyal, and committed, are holding their ground. This is the kind of problem most clubs envy, too many good players. But for Barcelona, it's a high-stakes game. Every decision has ripple effects. Every departure opens a hole. Every retention closes a door. As things stand, the center-back puzzle remains unsolved. And for Deco, this is a summer where inaction may cost more than any transfer fee. Let us know in the comments who you think should stay and who should go. And if you love in-depth Barcelona coverage like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss